Do you spiel?
Okay. Well, we're very privileged to get this shot because this is part of the private stretch of the Mersey, but we've been allowed onto the site by Beach Nurseries. Or was it Beach Landscapes?
Beach Landscapes.
Yeah, Beach Landscapes have very kindly given us permission to film here, and you can see that the Mersey is almost coming round to the Sale Carrington Road, but not quite. And here it's heading off to Flixton Bridge, and a lot of the landscape around here is going to change significantly shortly, because just beyond there Peel Holdings have marked it out for a housing estate, Carrington Estates, which might lead to a bit more access to the river, but obviously you won't have the green fields, so swings and roundabouts. There's a lot of keep out, no trespassers around, but I think they're more aimed at travellers rather than river wanderers like ourselves. So yeah, we're now going to proceed along the road and try and get a bit of footage of the river around Carrington Power Station, but that might not be possible. So the next bit of footage might, well, it'll be Flixton Bridge, possibly something near the power station, but I'm not very hopeful, and then it will be the vintage footage from when we did the Irwell of the Mersey joining the ship canal. We're now at Flixton Bridge, which I think is the last bridge before it joins the ship canal, the last major bridge anyway. And this is looking back up the river towards Urmston, though of course most of it's round the bend, and there is a garden centre that more or less backs onto the river, but we popped in there and couldn't get a shot of the river without climbing over a fence and scrambling up a bank, which we didn't feel inclined to. We'll now cross over the road. Do be careful, it's quite a sharp bend. Okay, there's a bit of a pipe works here which disfigures it slightly, and
disfigures it majorly.
Yeah.
What I mean slightly.
And there is a road alongside it for a short while, but it's a dead end, and I think there's shrubs and stuff blocking any real view of the river. But we'll just go back that way along there a bit, just so you can see the bridge properly. So yes, there's the bridge. Unfortunately that pipe obscures the nice arch. Don't know if we can see it a bit better if we move along this way a bit. No, Simon's quite correct, we won't. So, bit of a shame that. So there's the river heading on towards Carrington, and like I say, not much public access to it. Yeah, we're at the entrance to Carrington Power Station here. After the Flixton Bridge, the river does a real sort of shepherd's crook turn, almost comes back on itself, then straightens out and runs round the back of Carrington Power Station. I wish we could have found a spot to film all that, but unfortunately not. And just the other side of Carrington Power Station, it hits the Manchester Ship Canal. So there's no access this side of the river, and on the other side of the river, access is blocked by the Manchester-Warrington railway line, which prevents you getting a good shot of the river. So yeah, unfortunately we'll have to just make do with a map here, and we'll see you again alongside the Manchester Ship Canal.
Alright, well, we have a weir here. It's actually the most important weir on the whole of the River Irwell, due to the fact it's where the Mersey spills out into the ship canal, swallowing the Irwell up. And that's really sad. That's another series that has been finished.
Yeah, the River Mersey does escape from the ship canal eventually, but not the Irwell. The Irwell is a tributary of the Mersey, and here is where the two waters now meet. Well, this is the first real feature of note on the ship canal's route, where the Mersey is encased within it, and this is the Cadishead Railway Viaduct, which used to take the Glazebrook and Culcheth, the Glazebrook to Woodley line across the ship canal. It was built in 1892 at the same time as the ship canal, obviously, and now the embankment's been tunnelled through for the A57 bypass, and obviously the ship canal's running along here, and there's no towpath, but just beyond this point there starts a long stretch of canal side parking. So if you want to get up close to the canal, you can do so. Hello, we're at the Cadishead Way roundabout. Going that way is Cadishead. You can see there's an interesting sculpture here, and what's interesting here is that there is a path alongside the ship canal here. It's not a public right of way, and the problem with taking it is there's no easy escape route at the end. When it comes to Bolling Point, and I'll explain the significance of that particular landmark a bit later on, there's a very well fortified bridge, loads of keep out, no trespassing, you can't get to it.
Why do they bother keeping it around then?
Well, the thing is, this path seems to have been sort of just made by people wanting to get close to the ship canal. But if we took it to the end, there's no easy escape route, because all the ways back to the main road involve going past private dwellings where people would be well in their rights to say, go back the way you came. So we're only going to follow it as far as Glazebrook. There's a bridge there. There are a couple of lads who've done the full walk, and I'll put a link into their video, because they're a bit braver than we are, and it was a nice day when they did it as well. But yeah, we'll explain why the Glazebrook is significant when we get there.
Gonna feel like a geo-wizard mission.
Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty horrible straight away, a popular fly tipping spot. Yuck. Yes, now I remember this featured on the video I was talking about with the other two guys, and the sort of leader at this point starts doing impressions of dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, which makes it rather embarrassing to watch. It's not it's not enough to make you stop watching the video, but just be warned, he does have a certain pratishness about him, shall we say. But yeah.
Give me a couple months, I can fix it.
Yeah.
Do you reckon this actually could be restored? I don't.
I don't think it's worth the while, really.
Probably not. This thing's long dead. But it looks like somebody's got a kind of
I suspect the tree wasn't down when it came here, otherwise I don't know how they could have got it past the fallen tree, but...
I don't even know how they
Yeah.
got it on the path.
Right, okay. Right, now, this is the junction of Glazebrook, which gave its name to a little settlement and railway station up that way. But the significance of Glazebrook is that here it forms the boundary between Greater Manchester and Cheshire. So once you're over the other side of the bridge, you're in Cheshire. Now, you can go forward, as you can see, but there are some rough bits. You have to climb up banks and through woods, and then, as I say, you come to a point where you have to go back or trespass through other people's property.
I'm just going to pop down to check it.
Yeah, so at this point we're going to turn back and move on a bit to where we've got a proper route. Simon does want to put a foot into Cheshire, which is where we're going in a few minutes anyway, but never mind. Okay.